Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kerry and I love all things makeup and beauty related, especially when it's an indie brand that does colourful eyeshadows. That is my absolute passion. So stick around and don't forget to subscribe. I can't tell you how excited I am to be filming this video today. I have actually been very kindly gifted the new Nomad Cosmetics palette. So the new Nomad palette is called Royal Europe, and let me tell you, if you've been on my channel before and you know anything about the makeup that I like, you know that I absolutely love Nomad Cosmetics. They are one of my favourite indie brands by a mile. They are based in the US, and look how gorgeous this packaging is. I'm so excited to show you this, play around with it and do some looks. First, let's get into the close-ups and the swatches of this palette.
Right now I'm standing in the corner. I see you from across the room. It's kinda crowded here, but I know you see me too. Everybody's singing oh, everybody's singing oh. I don't know what it is about you. It must be in the way you move. Just say you want me to. We got nothing to lose. You're looking so old. You're looking so old. Now I'm moving closer to you, and it's getting dark in this room. Tell me what you wanna do. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love, baby, let me love you.
So guys, I have been very kindly gifted this amazing palette from Nomad Cosmetics, which actually blows my mind. However, having said that it is gifted, I will still be giving my honest opinions and thoughts. The packaging of this one is amazing. It's 3D on the front and it just looks spectacular. It does feel very opulent and very much like the royal theming that they're going for. It is the Royal Europe palette, intense colour and creme palette, and it is cruelty-free and vegan and has a 12-month shelf life. Nomad Cosmetics are an amazing US indie brand, one of my absolute favourites that I love to review on this channel, and they come with a postcard with every palette that explains a little bit more about the destination that it's based on and where they're going to be giving a portion of their profits to. So they always give back to a charity. So the charity this time is the UNESCO World Heritage Centre that protects and preserves precious heritage sites around the world, which I think is amazing. There's a little message from the owners and it tells you a little bit more about the palette. It says the destination is based from Versailles to Buckingham, a collection of royal palaces and castles span across Europe, each full of family jewels, palatial rooms and heirlooms of bygone eras. Uniquely different in their expansive estates, imposing architecture and precious treasures, they are all impressive destinations that create a sense of awe and inspiration. So there's 10 mattes in this palette in opulent jewel tones and 5 multi-chromes. 5 multi-chromes! I hope I've done them justice in the swatches that you have seen, but I am so impressed with the look of this palette. There's gorgeous indentations in the pan, as you will have also seen, and I don't know where to start with this. I need to do multiple looks with this because there are so many ways you could go, and I just want to smoosh all of those multi-chromes on my face. I can't lie. I haven't actually swatched this as I'm filming this right now, but you will have already seen the swatches, and I really don't know which way to go. I love the jewel tones that are included, especially this teal row looks to be possibly my favourite. We do have a nice mirror, and like I say, the packaging is absolute goals from Nomad. They are one of my favourite indie brands by a mile, and I am so grateful to be gifted this lovely palette. Now, I don't currently know what price this is going to be, but with 5 multi-chromes, I'm not sure if it's going to be the same type of price that Nomad usually come out with, but it will launch on Tuesday, March the 28th at around 12:01 AM EST. So pop a little mark in your diary if you're going to be wanting to get your hands on this palette, because I think this one is going to be one of their most popular releases. So let's zoom you in and stick some shadow on my eyeballs. Now, everything that I'm wearing in this video should be linked in the description box down below, as well as all the details for the palette and the launch date. And when I find out the price, I will be popping that in the description box for you as well. I I'm drawn to those teals, so I feel like that's what I'm probably going to be doing. Now, we don't have a lot of light mattes in this palette, but the lightest one that we have is the Palace of Versailles. I really hope I'm saying that right. So I feel like I definitely want to include this one because I do like light and depth in looks, and I really want to use King's Room. We might play with these sort of shades here, the teals, and maybe this lighter blue, and then obviously at least one of the multi-chromes for this look. Okay, so I think what I want to start out with is definitely going to be King's Room, which is this one here. Nomad's matte formula is one of my absolute favourites, and you can see why. The pigment is just there straight away. Let me just adjust my mirror so I can actually see what I'm doing, but I should really at this point do a Nomad playlist because I have reviewed quite a few of their palettes on my channel now, and they are one of my absolute favourite indie brands. They have amazing customer service. I love their theming for everything. The fact that they give back to charity is just amazing. The guessing game when you're trying to guess where the destination is and the little clues that they give you, absolutely amazing. So I'm just going to be packing this on the outer corner to give me all the depth that I want. That pigment and that colour is so beautiful. There is a little bit of kick up in the pan, but that doesn't really bother me, especially when the pigment is like this. When it goes on the eye, when I opened this package and actually saw the packaging and then the multi-chromes, I gasped. It blew me away and I wasn't expecting it. I feel like this one is actually a little bit different from Nomad, and I'm really enjoying this matte shade so far. I've got some sort of a, are these matching? Probably not. Some sort of a rounded shape going on with this, and I want to blend this out with the other tealy shades that are in the palette. But before I do that, I am just going to take a clean fluffy brush and just wiggle toward the edges of this shade, just so it's easier when we come in with the next shade to blend. I do find Nomad's mattes to be buildable, but I do like to generally start out with my deepest shade just because then I get maximum pigment payoff, and it's exactly how it is in the pan. It's very rare if I build a shadow up, I do like to start out with my deepest shade, but that is blending out lovely already. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Willenau Place, whatever this one is. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Then I'm going to go into the Palace of Versailles. I'm just going to press this second sort of lighter teal shade around the edge of this first, and then work on a blend. And then for the very edges and toward the inner corner, I'm going to go into this nice light blue shade here. Sort of a light bluey, tealy, beautiful tone. So far I'm finding these mattes extremely pigmented, so go in with a light hand and carefully because the pigment is absolutely insane. So rich. Then I think just for the lower lash line, I'm going to go into a little bit of the Ballroom, just to add a little bit of something different. Now it's time for the multi-chromes and I am so excited. I just feel like I want to take one on my finger, and I have been looking at this one constantly, but is this the one that's going to go best with this look? I can't resist. I'm going to go into Bleu de France, which is this one here, and it's kind of like a purpley blue. It goes from a purple to a deeper purple to like a blurple and a blue. It's absolutely stunning. Oh, and it feels incredible. Look at that. Look how insane and wet that looks. I'm sorry, but that is incredible. And that is going on my lid. Just feel like this is going to be the best way to apply it. This is going to be very dramatic, dark, opulent. Oh. It's pulling very teal at first glance because obviously I'm using it with the teal mattes, but in different lighting it's going to catch so beautifully. And then I think I'm going to take a little bit of the shade Royal Treasure just to go on top of the lower lash line because it's sort of like a purple to a gold to a green. I can't even show you how amazing it is. I'm just going to pop that just on top of that purple matte we had going on down here. Okay, this is more or less going to be the eyeshadow. Let me jump off, finish up this look, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like.
Here's to the good days, here's to the sorrows. If this is a mistake, I know about tomorrow.
Okay guys, that is look number 1 finished, and I have to say I feel very extra today and I love it. The Colourpop cream gel liners in my waterline, I used the shades Piggy Bank and Catsuit. Not sure if you can get these individually anymore, I'll try and link them down below, but a combination of these two in the waterline. I went in with the Fenty liquid lipstick in Underrated because I feel like it's the perfect purple to match my lower lash line. The lashes were gifted from Arttitude Cosmetics, but I'm not sure if these are available anymore. They're in the style Eternity. If they're still available, I will link them, but let me know what we think, guys. I did add a little gem. Going with the sort of royal theming, the gem, a little bit of liner, which I did use my Arttitude Cosmetics Painter's Paradise palette, and I love this so much. Every time I get out some liner, this is the one that I'm reaching for. This was also gifted from Arttitude, but I used this purple in the top corner here just to do a little fancy swooshy. Looking in the mirror, I can definitely see the multi-chrome effect. Trying to show it on camera is incredibly difficult, especially with just this lighting on me here. If I was to go out into natural lighting, you'd probably see it a lot better, but hopefully I've shown you the different shifts in the different lighting. Like, I haven't actually filmed that yet, so I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how I'm going to show these multi-chrome shifts to their full potential, because as me looking at them in the pan and even on my finger, absolutely insane. So hopefully I can pick that up on the camera for you, but I am really obsessed with this look. I feel like an evil mermaid. That is the vibe. I almost forgot, I did go in my inner corner with one of my Odin's Eye highlights. This is in, what is this in? Azure Shine, which is the sort of bluey coloured one. I will have it linked down below, but I just wanted something a little bit brighter and a little bit more light for my inner corner, because that is just something that I enjoy. I don't mind reaching into other things to grab something a little bit lighter or a little bit darker, but in this palette, as beautiful as these tones are, I didn't have anything just quite light enough, just my very inner corner, just to brighten things up a bit. So that is it for look number 1. Let's dive in to look number 2. So guys, another look with this gorgeous palette, and I'm thinking I want to play with more of the berry tones today. Might start out with this deep purple called Buckingham Palace, loving that. And then maybe we'll go into a little bit of the Ballroom and Pina Palace, not sure how to say that one. But those are the tones I'm thinking of working with today. I'm going to take a little Diddy Refa brush. This is the Refa 03, and I'm going to start out with Buckingham Palace. And I'm just going to mark out the sort of shape I want to do, because I want to do a cut crease today. I'm feeling maybe a cut crease is on the cards. Now, it doesn't matter what it looks like underneath the line I'm going to do, because that is all going to be cut away because I am doing the cut crease. So just kind of want to not take it too high with this deep shade and mark out where I want this to be. I know it's looking real scary right now. It'll all be fine. Cut creases solve and save a lot of things, but like I say, everything underneath the line that I'm drawing, that is all going to be cut away anyway. I'm just trying to get a shape, and then I'll start to work on a blend between this deep purple, and then I'll introduce those more plummy tones. Okay, now that kind of shape is down, I'm just going to use the same brush, no extra product, and wiggle on the very, very edge of the line just to start on a blend before I go in with the next shade. This purple is so pigmented and vibrant. It is absolutely stunning. I have always loved Nomad Cosmetics mattes. I find them very easy to work with because I like a pigmented shadow that's buildable and blendable, and this formula is just one of my favourites. Now, I don't want this to get too crazy, so I'm just cleaning my brush off on my colour switch, and then I'm going to go into... which one am I going to go into? I might go into the Ballroom, which is the one below it here. And again, these are super pigmented mattes, so I'm trying to be extremely careful and light-handed because I don't want this to take over. This is just to start to blend out that deeper purple. And again, still looking quite ropey right now, but I'm just going to take a small blending brush and just tickle on the edge of this and go back and forth between these two shades and make sure that I'm happy with how it's blended in together. It's easy with these deep pigmented shades to run away with yourself and literally take all of the pigment too high, too much. So with this palette, because there's such rich shades, I would just go with a very, very careful hand and add bit by bit. Don't go in with too much straight away, because you can always add more, but you can't really take away. Just wanted to keep that very top edge as soft as possible. So I'm going in with a clean, fluffy blending brush and just trying to make sure that that top edge is super light and really dispersed and blended out nicely. And then I'm going to go in and cut the crease and try and make them match on both sides. Okay, is that matching? I feel like it's somewhat matching. We're just going to go with that. And I don't know what to go in with next. Should I do some more mattes or should I just do shimmer? I think I might go in with a little bit of this shade again. And maybe a little bit of this shade. I really should have more of a plan when I sit down to film. Little secret, I don't ever really sit down and have a plan before I do any look. Just going to be popping that lighter of the blues type of shades when I've sorted out my creasy lids. There we go. I'm just going to pop that toward the inner corner area, just underneath where that cut crease is sitting. These tones are going to be beautiful together. I do love blues and purples. And I just want to use a little bit of that light blue shade as well, just on the very edges of where this cut crease will finish here. Just going to blend out this very inner corner area. No extra product on my brush, just want this blue to blend out nicely into my skin. Well, as best it can, because blues don't really blend out into skin tones. Nobody really has blue skin. Then I'm going to go into the deeper blue below it called Hall of Mirrors. And I'm kind of just going to connect up the two blues with this shade, trying to be careful not to go over that cut crease line, but I'm just going to fill in this gap and make sure I've got everything where I want it to be before I go on top with one of the gorgeous multi-chromes. Okay, I have just lined that cut crease with my Arttitude Cosmetics liner palette again, and I used this lilac shade here because I thought it would tie in nicely and differentiate between the two colours. Okay, all of the multi-chromes in this palette are absolutely spectacular. I'm thinking I like the look of this one, which is called Royal Treasure, which is this one down here. I think I'm definitely going to have to play with this one today. This one is so shifty. It is stunning. And I can't wait to get this all over my lid. It's like a gold, purple, pinky, bronzy. Oh, that already looks amazing. Oh. Oh. That is absolutely beautiful. And of course, whatever you're popping it on top of and whatever lighting you're in, it will just transform and shift all the different ways. And I'm just going to tap a little bit of blue over the edges just to make sure this is kind of blended in together nicely. And there's not a harsh line, but you're not going to be picking up on camera all the different shifts and just how special this is on the eye. Then for the lower lash line, I am going to go into St. Edward's Crown, which is this one here. It's sort of a blurply, purpley, insanity shade. It looks spectacular. I might pop a little of that shade as well, just on the outer corner, so it meets up with that shade on the lower lash line and it makes a little bit more sense. Oh yes, that was a wise decision. Look, the more multi-chrome, the better. Okay guys, I think this is going to be it for the eyeshadow. Let me jump off and finish this look up.
You're gone now, or you're coming back. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. You're the traveling kind. It's a known fact. Yeah, I know that. Once you've seen all the things, all the places
There we go, look number 2, and I'm obsessed with this one. I think I prefer this one to the first look. I feel like this is definitely more me. It's giving me, again, kind of Black Mermaid vibes, but in a little bit of a different way. So I did go in with my P. Louise M. Mitchell Acid Rain Paint in the shade, it's got a hair on it, that's not fun, in the shade Ibiza for the waterline and the lower lash line. So if you're like, where are your lower lashes, I did put a little bit of this paint on them instead of just using mascara. I did also go in my inner corner again with my Odin's Eye highlighter in Azura Shine, which is the blue one, just to add that little bit of extra sparkle and lightness in the inner corner. And the lashes I used are from House of Boo. I did get gifted these lashes and they are in the style 3D04. Just thought they'd go nicely with the look. I can see so many different reflex in these multi-chromes. It's very, very difficult to translate that on camera. So you're just gonna have to believe me, unless you're actually planning to pick up the palette, and then you're gonna see in real life and you're gonna be like, oh yeah. Like that one that I put on the majority of the lid, I can definitely see pink and gold as I'm turning my head, and it looks insane, especially going into that purple that I added in the outer corner. I really love this look. This is multi-chrome goodness. And if you're not scared to put a multi-chrome on the lower lash line like I did, I really think it ties in nicely all the different types of purples and plummy colours as well as the blue. Fit for a princess? I'll let you decide. Let's jump in to the next look. Okay, third and final look time, and I'm thinking I definitely want to use the sort of greeny, yellowy, goldy type of multi-chrome. So I'm just priming first. And I didn't use the neutrally side of the palette as of yet, so there is sort of like a mustardy, more neutral tones on this side. So I'm thinking maybe these two mattes and maybe this shimmer called Imperial Crown. Maybe that's a good plan. So I'm going to start out with the lighter of the two shades. This one's more of a neutrally mustardy tone. So I'm going to start out with that, sort of, let me adjust my mirror because then I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to start out with that toward the inner corner and just mark out the sort of shape I want it to be first. Everything's super quiet now. As I was putting my base on and getting ready, I was listening to some Korn, so you can imagine how much quieter it is now that the music is off. Really wish you could play music in YouTube videos. That would be amazing, like copyrighted music. Mind you, if you don't like Korn, you might not stick around for the video in that case. There was also a bit of Justin Bieber. Look, I have the weirdest music taste. I can go from Justin Bieber to Korn quite easily. There was also a bit of Linkin Park thrown in for good measure. That is a delicious neutral shade because it is more mustardy and sort of like a dirty mustard colour. I love this shade. This is my type of neutral. Then I'm going to flip my brush over and go into the deeper brown shade called Neptune Fountain and just kind of carry on where I want this to be. Okay, I've got kind of shape down. I know I'm looking crazy right now. That's absolutely fine. I generally do. Let me try and find the brush I'm looking for. And I'm just going to slightly wiggle on the edges of the shades that I've placed down and obviously fill in this deep brown situation. Now it doesn't really matter what the blend looks like between the two shades on the lid because I'm going to be covering it with one of the multi-chromes anyway. I just don't want it to be a super harsh line on the very edges of this, so I'm just very gently wiggling and kind of like trying to control the shape. I mean, I'm not quite sure what shape we've got going on at the moment, but it'll all come together to the end. Trust the process. I will say, although there are not the most light mattes in this palette, there are mid-tones and deeper tones. There is a lighter blue, but I feel like all of these shades, as pigmented and rich and deep as they are, I feel like they blend out beautifully without a lighter shade. I could pop the mustardy shade to blend out this deep brown, but I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, let's go in with the gorgeous multi-chrome called, which one should we go for actually? Should we go for Imperial Crown or Royal Orb? Eek! Ooh, that's Imperial Crown. That is absolutely beautiful. Oh, or Royal Orb, which is leaning more greeny. Ooh. Maybe this one. Maybe this one, Imperial Crown. Royal Treasure would have looked gorgeous on this as well, but I did use that in the last look. So, was it the last look? I feel like it was. So I'm going to use, oh wow, I picked up way too much on my brush. Wow. Yeah, there's no issue with picking up these shimmers, like, and you've guessed it, we're just going to pop it all over the lid, and we're going to look sort of like a rusty, grungy, neutrally look with this, because I can't always just use bright Technicolor. I need to also do neutral looks that are still on the dramatic side, because dramatic makeup is my passion. Look how easily that is applying now. I did spray it because I picked up too much on my brush, but there's no issues with picking up these multi-chromes. I am using a Refa brush. I'm using a Refa 28. It's like molten metal on my lid. And I am trying to cover a little bit of the deeper brown with it as well, just in the hope that when I try and show you the shift, you'll see the difference. Maybe a little, that it's layered on top of two different shades, although it is a very opaque shade. It's not like a toppery shade at all. This is extremely opaque and delicious and very, very reflective and metallic-y. It's stunning. I wouldn't usually put a shimmer this far out, but when it is a gorgeous multi-chrome like this, I can't be stopped. I am feeling this look. This is very neutral for me, but the fact that I can make it so dramatic and bold makes me very happy. I'm just wiggling on the edges of that gorgeous multi-chrome just so it looks a little bit less harsh of a line. I think I will just use a little bit of that mustardy shade, just a very small amount, just to top on the edges of that deep brown. And I am going to use the same mattes to run on a lower lash line. I don't want it as dramatic as what's going on above. I don't want to take away from that, but these tones together are delicious. Okay, that's the eyeshadow. Let me jump off and finish up this look, and then we can talk about all three looks and this palette.
Yeah. Here's to the good days, here's to the sorrows. If this is a mistake, I know about tomorrow. I don't want to fight no more, cause I don't feel the need no more, no.
Finished look number 3, and I am obsessed with this one. I didn't think I was going to like this one as much as the others because of the tones and the colours that I was using today, but actually this might be my favourite of the 3. I know what's happened to me and who am I, but I love this look and the way that it's come together. I did switch out my headband just so I matched a little bit better. I did use my Natasha Denona lipstick in the shade Charlotte. It's one of the I Need a Nude lipsticks because it leans a little bit more yellowy, so I thought that would be nice. And I did use my MUA lip liner in Heartfelt again, and in the waterline I did go in with a Colourpop cream gel liner in Punch. Nice yellow to tie everything together. The lashes are the half lashes from Pound Lashes in the style HL01. They do half lashes now. I love a half lash. These are my favourite of the new half lashes they brought out, and I do have a code. If you've never shopped with Pound Lashes before, you can use that and save some pennies. That is affiliated, so thank you so much if you do use that and support my channel. Overall, guys, this look, I'm so happy to be wearing this today. I feel like it all ties in nicely together. It feels like a dirty gold. It just feels so rich and beautiful, and I love it. I love the whole thing, how it is. Please do let me know which is your favourite of the 3 looks. I feel like a lot of people are going to choose look number 2, and the neutral lovers are probably going to choose this one. I don't know. I do feel like this one, I don't know what it is about it, although it is more neutral, it is still very dramatic, and just that multi-chrome all over the lid just looking absolutely divine. So let's talk about this palette, guys. The artwork is absolutely stunning. I love the theming behind this. Like I said, I absolutely love that Nomad give back to a specific charity related to the destination of each palette that they release. They are all destination-based palettes, which just makes me so happy because the guessing game and the clues is fantastic. It's one of the reasons that I love Nomad, and these multi-chromes are absolutely spectacular. Right now, as I say, as I'm filming, I don't actually know what this is going to retail for. I will try and leave all the information in the description box as soon as I know, but these multi-chromes, I can't really show you on camera just how special they are. I mean, I did edit the last look that I did, and when I had the mirror up and I was showing you a close-up, you could really see the shift in that. So I don't know if I've been able to quite encapsulate every single multi-chrome to the best of its ability, but in person they are so shifty and beautiful. They're easy to pick up on a brush, they're easy to apply on the eye, they are spectacular multi-chromes. Now the mattes, I always love Nomad's mattes. They are always super, super pigmented, but I'd say these feel even more pigmented, if that's even possible. They are more on the deeper, richer, jewel tone side. So bear that in mind, go in with a light hand unless you're going for a big, bold, dramatic look. We do have a few lighter shades, not too many, and there's nothing I could really pop in my inner corner. I did forget to tell you, I did put the Colourpop Winnie the Pooh 100 Acre Wood Super Shock Cheek highlighter in my inner corner because I just like that. That's my personal preference. You don't have to do that, but I do like to have something that I can put in my inner corner that's a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter. But I think this palette is absolutely stunning. It does definitely encapsulate royalty, opulence, jewel tones. I think it fits the theming perfectly. But as a standalone palette, like I say, it's not that difficult to pick up a highlight and put it in your inner corner. Like, you're going to be putting highlight on probably anyway, so if you just include that in your inner corner if you are wanting something lighter and brighter there. But I just, the richness of these mattes and the pigmentation and the blendability, considering how deep some of them are, they will, if you work with them, blend themselves out. They are absolutely beautiful. As you can see as well, there's a lot of versatility, and the 3 different looks I've created are all very, very different. And I like the way that we've got them in sort of columns of how you can use the mattes and the multi-chromes. So that's like very user-friendly. If you don't know what to do with this palette, you could just stick to one of the columns. These are some of the best multi-chromes in my collection, and I do have a little collection of multi-chromes going on. I'm not gonna lie, I've got some singles and things. These are absolutely stunning. So if you are a multi-chrome collector, or you just want them in a palette because you prefer it that way and not as singles, I would 100% recommend this palette. But if you've been on my channel before, you know I absolutely love Nomad Cosmetics. Their formula to me is fantastic. I'm not surprised by this palette. I knew the probability of me liking the quality of this palette was quite high, which is why I always buy from them. I can't believe I was kindly gifted this palette. Thank you again so much to Nomad Cosmetics. I love this. I can't wait to create some more looks. I'm really excited to find out what you think to this palette. Are you going to be picking it up? What do you think to the looks that I've done? Talk to me about the multi-chromes. Let's have a chat in the comments. Don't forget to let me know which of the 3 looks is your favourite, and I will have my Instagram link down below as well as all my other socials, my YouTube membership and my Patreon group, and hopefully you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.